What's up, y'all? It's Wolf. So, happy 37th birthday to me. What am I doing? Eating blueberry donuts and having a latte at 2 in the morning, okay? Now, bear with me. People be like, what, you're not out drinking? Bro, I'm 37. I ain't trying to get to the top of the hill any sooner, okay? But, oh, that's good. I'm supposed to be losing weight right now for season 4. But this is good, okay? So, what did I do for my birthday so far? Well, it hasn't even started. It's been about 2 hours. I plan on getting every single free thing that I possibly can. I'm joking, but I'm not, okay? But what else am I doing? My girl's going to make me tater tot casserole and get myself a German chocolate cake, so I'm doubling up on sweets today. They even gave me some extra donut holes, okay? But what did I find today, okay? This is the first birthday that I've had a biblical hedge, okay? And what I found was if you read the Bible on your birthday, it has a very strange effect. Where I had this very bright light just come from me and around me. But I had this gamma ray-like effect. Where I just had a dark practitioner fight me today. Well, I kind of picked the fight a little bit. I rebuked them because I know where they're from and they have out-of-state plates and they're here doing spell work trying to build a curse, okay? So I already knew what was going on, okay? So I fought with them for a bit today, dropped them off at the cemetery, did a whole bunch. It's been a great, my birthday's been a celebration here for a whole 2 days. What did you do for your birthday? Well, it started the day before, and I walked somebody down with the Bible who was doing satanic stuff here, and then dropped you off at the cemetery. Well, that's okay. Good way to start it, okay? What else did I have, okay? That gamma ray effect, it was just a bright light. Like, I can't sleep right now because I slept kind of late in the day, and it was mainly because I had like 3 chicken tacos, so my girl cooked dinner, well, we both cooked dinner, and I went, woo. And I woke up and I was like, bro, I can't sleep. So I'm working. So people are like, yeah, working on your birthday. It's like, well, yeah. Everybody got to make money. People have to go work on their birthday. It's what it is, okay? What else did I find? That on your birthday, if you have a hedge up, dude, like, here's the deal with my birthday. My birthday's always been cursed, okay? And people are be like, what? What's that mean? People deliberately like curse the day of my birth or something. Because every single time I would have a birthday, okay, somebody would say or do something to screw it up or put my vibration way low. Like people just got off on it or something. It could have been that the devil worked through people to do it too. Not this year, homie. Because I broke that curse. How? The biblical hedge, but I also gave my birthday to God. So I was one where I was like, well, not only is that nobody really celebrate my birthday, nobody really cares, but I did it where I gave it to God and I got spiritual gifts for it. One was, I don't have to deal with the people of the town hitting me with spell work. That's a beautiful gift. I'll take a vacation, bro. That's nice. Because every single day out here, bro, mimics and cartoon characters flying around these streets, bro. You get spells cast. I get love spells cast at me. I get all sorts of things. People are on the cauldron, wand, and broom out here bad, bro. So I get hit with stuff. People throw stuff at me and they get hit with sticks and then they blame me and they shake their fist at God. And I'm like, I don't really know what y'all is doing, but okay. It's a very strange place, okay? Eating my second donut, homie. But it's a strange place here. But what else did I notice? In my past, my surrogate family, they never remember my birthday. Nobody, my surrogate mom would. Or she would hit me up the day, on that day, and she'd probably remind people. She was the only one that really remembered my birthday. That, my grandmother, okay? And my mom's. So my real mom's, she would remember my birthday, and she would send me some sort of a message or do something. But what else did I find, okay? This might be my favorite birthday so far. Because every year, bro, when I was with my ex narcissist, okay, every year there was something that she would say or she would do or I put down or something demonic that it was just like, boom. This is why I always said my birthday was cursed, okay? Something would always happen. And I was like, what's up with that? Day before, 3 days before leading up to it, it's like, bam, 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 bam. Like, I'm just hit with all this stuff. Like it's just, not just like spell work is spell work, okay? I'm talking like, people will deliberately like ruin my birthday. Like, I couldn't really figure that one out. So there's been some years where I've spent it alone. And I was like, this was a good birthday. It was almost like I locked myself into quarantine and I just didn't mess with nobody. Nobody messing with me. Not bad. My, like, overall birthday, okay? Wish. I asked for a lot of things. Not really material, okay? A couple of them were material. They're jokes. One was a red sports car from the casino right now that everybody's trying to win. But apparently that's a sham. So we'll see if I win that or not. I don't think I'm going to win it. So I don't really have much of a chance, okay? But it was like, oh, I'm going to win, maybe. The guy's like, no, I ain't going to have him. Maybe he do, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to be doing videos in a Corvette. But I highly doubt it. Insurance is going to cost me a heck of a lot on that thing. But tonight, I decided I'm running around. I'm door dashing, making some moves, making some money, okay? But it's one of those things I want to talk about. If people curse you on your birthday, the easiest way to do it is to build a hedge and then read the Bible on your birthday. And Jesus can break every curse over your life. So something you will find, people that cursed me, okay, my whole life, they will probably have a problem with my birthday. April 21st turns around and they're like, rah, rah, they freak out and they get mad, okay? It's just a thing. Oh, that's good. That dude, he threw in extra donuts for me. Another donut hole. I can't eat anymore, bro. I got 2 more donut holes. But I just pounded 2 of those blueberry ones. So, on your birthday, if you get cursed on a birthday or somebody curses the day of your birth, which I think it's a lot more common than people think, try reading the Bible on your birthday, okay? If you have a hedge, have a hedge and read the Bible on your birthday and see what done happen. Because God works in mysterious ways, and I experienced some spiritual things that it was almost like this big spiritual hug and just like earmuffs from the outside. And I'm like, oh, this is nice, bro. I wish it was my birthday every day if that was the case, because I just read the Bible every day. So why did I read the book of John? The book of John is one of my favorite books of the Bible. Why? For one, if you pair it with Matthew, it is so nice, because Matthew is a very strong, high vibrational, bright light hedge, and John is like this blanket hedge. And so if you have spell work being cast at you and you rebuke it, it's just like woo, woo, like you're throwing stuff off you, and it's really nice. Why I like the book of John is the very beginning of the book of John. I just find it just very like something core deep into spirit. It's very just I love it. I love reading that book. The whole thing is just very, for some reason I found that certain books of the Bible may speak to different people different ways, okay? People may love Mark because it's easier to read because it's shorter. John's a long book, but I enjoy it, okay? I enjoy the book of John. The book of John is one of those where I'm like, when I get some time to like wind down and I'm at like laying down at night and my girl's asleep or like I'm alone or whatever, just to read 5 chapters of it, I'm like, bruh, I feel better when I'm done with it. I don't have any sort of worry, fear, or doubt or anything. Like, it's just very, it makes you feel feathered, like you got feathers, you can fly, like you are just very weightless. And it's very nice to have the book of John in your hedge, in your mind, and in your spirit. There are certain parts of it that I really do enjoy. And one of it is, and I know this is kind of weird, but the death and rising of Lazarus, where Jesus brings Lazarus back, is a very touching story to me. But it's one that every single time that I read that book, I find something new in the book of John. Like Matthew, of course. Matthew's like such just like, oh my gosh, this is so big. Luke is another one. There's certain parts of Luke that you will read and go, that wasn't in any of the other books, but it was something that somebody experienced it while they experienced Jesus' incarnation and walk in ministry. Very interesting, okay? So Book of Luke has very strong things that you're like, there's things that you squeeze from it that hit your spirit that are very important. The Book of John, though, it's like you're holding this torch, bro. For some reason, it feels like you're holding this torch when you're done with it. And you're like, this feels... I love that book. The Book of John, the Book of Ezekiel is another one that I love, okay? The Book of Revelations, at first, I didn't like that book because I couldn't understand it. Once I started reading everything else, and then I combed Revelations, well, I'm going through what I'm going through right now. I looked around and was like, oh, okay, I understood it. Well, I was still trying to understand it. Because there's certain things in there, I'm like, this could be interpreted like 5 different ways, bro. And if I'm interpreting it wrong on film, people are going to try to hit me with sticks in the comments. I'm just trying to do my best here, okay? But what I have found was that my go-to when it comes to people that are doing spell work and they're attacking you, I'll generally go for that book, okay? And I'll pair it with Matthew, or I've read Matthew the day before, at least 5 chapters of it. If you're getting hit with a love spell, okay? I'm just going to put this out there. People may debate, they may not debate. Read the book of Timothy, all right? For some reason, the book of if someone hits you with a love spell, you'll read the book of Timothy. That's kind of like all you have to do, but you feel... If you've been hit with enough love spells, you'll be like, dude, again? Like, then they try and make you wander out, and, they try and make you drop your guard of your heart, so you're not guarding your heart, so that they can control and manipulate you to ask them out so they can reject you, so they can get a self-fulfilled gratification. If you read the book of Timothy, you're like, oh, it's off me, bro. Like, it's off me. I'm not saying I don't like you, or, I hate you, or anything like that. No. But you understand it more where you're like, oh, okay, so I can tell when someone's hit me with a love spell or once I have genuine attraction for somebody. There's a difference there. What is it? If I have a love spell done on me versus general attraction, it's the guarding of the heart that I noticed. Where this may be in another episode coming soon. This should be season 4. It's interlude into it, so there's interlude. Season 3, season 4 has an interlude section in it. I didn't expect it, but, well, it's my birthday, bro, so it's going in there. But the love spell thing, if you have this attraction towards someone that you're like, I really like this person a lot, but you're not able to see past the emotion and see the logic of the situation, and you're not able to guard your heart when generally you're able to, you're probably having a love spell done on you, okay? And you may feel that it comes with it. They may curse you along with it, okay? Which is one that's like, they try and run you through a washing machine and send themselves through a washing machine. Book of Timothy. The book of Acts is a good one too. I like the book of Timothy for love spells. See, people hit me with love spells, I'm just book of Timothy. I just feed my spirit in my hedge. And people regret it, but people did it all over. This whole city town, bro, just love spells. Well, I can reject him. And it's like, I don't know why y'all is doing that. Like, maybe they did it to me because they didn't care. But I also noticed that people would do love spells, and when I would lift them, they would spiritually swipe me. And I'm like, what is you doing? It's like they do love spells on you because they secretly hate you, but they want the self-gratification of you asking them out and them saying no. Or them being able to put your vibration lower. And a lot of times people will do love spells on you when you're at a higher vibration than them. So, love spell, I'm going to ask you out, rejection or rejection. They want you to be here because they don't like your light and they don't like your vibration being up here, okay? So, I done learned that one real quick. And I was like, okay, because I saw people that were like down here and I was up here. And I would talk to them like, oh, yeah, what's up, just talking to them, and it'd be like love spell. And it was a thing where some of these people will build these love spells and curses attached to their spirit. I think I don't know witchcraft very well, but I didn't see them actually open their phone and cast it. It did happen to me when I would leave. So they might pick up their phone really quick and, I don't know, do their exams. I don't know what they're doing, okay? But I think that they build them and they have a code, like some sort of a, they have the curse of it attached to a spell that they've created, I think. I've tried to figure it out, but I don't study witchcraft. If I did, then I would understand exactly how they was doing it, but I'm more focused on the Bible because that's the only thing that's important. Figuring it out, I'll figure it out on my own. Maybe somebody comes along and corrects me and is like, that's just how they do it. You know, they burn it in a candle, they throw it out there, they throw a bunch of confetti everywhere, and then they cast it at you later at night. I don't know. But what I can tell you is, when I was hit with them, it was right after I saw the person. Or it was loaded on some sort of a mirror spell, where they would stand in front of a mirror and do it, so it would like hit everybody. And that was one where I was like, okay, I started to understand the mirror thing, because there was people that you would see them differently if they had a mirror spell on them. But after I rebuked it, they were like, womp. And I was like, well, you ain't ugly, but I kind of see you that way, because it's a backfire type of deal, where I was like a back shoot. I don't really know what's going on there. But love spells Timothy. Matthew, John, blanket. You can use that book of John as a strong blanket hedge to toss stuff off of you. That was something I was like, well, it's almost like the person's spirit that wrote it had something to do with that. Like Matthew was a very strong, like he had something in him that Jesus saw and was like, follow me. And so it's like, huh, if you look at the book of James, James is a thunderbolt addition to your hedge. So for some reason you will read that book, and if someone hits you with a spell or a curse or something, like they just get wham, like there's some sort of a lightning bolt. And it's something about Jesus's experience on how he saw the people in certain ways. Why? Look at this really quick. There's a verse in the Bible where Mark 3:17, where Jesus nicknames James and his brother John Boanerges, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but meaning son of thunder, sons of thunder. This likely highlights their fury, impetuous and passionate personalities. So it's almost like these books affect your hedge based upon how Jesus saw and nicknamed these people. Which you're like, well, what's up with that? So he saw something deep ingrained in their spirit and soul that boom, 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 boom. And James and John are like this, like, lightning strike, bro. Like, it's like a thunderbolt. Like, people get... I was here, I've been here for... Oh, bro, I feel like I've been here forever. I feel like I'm calling a volleyball Wilson right now. But... it's one of those. Well, I didn't read the book of James that much. I didn't read the book of James until I read the book of Revelation the first time. And I read the book of James, I think a few times now, like 2 or 3 times. I haven't focused too much on it. But what I did notice is I have my hedge. I have my the book of John. James is easy to read. It's an addition to your hedge that's very nice. Where it's like, okay, you got this blanket. If you read the whole New Testament, bro, you've just shown up with every single arsenal you could possibly walk with. And it's hard to read the whole New Testament. It's very... once you get through the first 4 books, it kind of goes woo. Like there's a section that's very quick. But like the book of Acts is very long. Romans is pretty long. There's stuff that, you know, is pretty crazy. There's a lot of it though, like the first and second Kings, bro. There was people who casted curses at me and hexes, who tried to hex me right after I just got done reading the book of Kings, and there was like this just strong concrete punch, dude. It was just like boom, and I could see it on the person where they're like, oh, and they just walked away, and it was almost like they spiritually got punched in the chest here. Not like I just went, 2-inch punch and, 1-inch punch and punched you in the chest. but like spiritually you took a blow like that, like back off. And it was very like the Old Testament has some very interesting effects on your hedge. But tonight I've been reading Matthew for a while, okay? So Matthew 10, I think I read up to Matthew 10 recently, and then I jumped onto John. So like my hedge is like layered. Something about your birthday. If you have a hedge, okay? If you read the Bible, your hedges that you build, so say I read the whole book of John, it usually takes a while to, like, you have to let it set in. So generally you won't turn on the TV, you won't look on the internet, you won't do anything. You'll just kind of sit back and reflect and meditate on what you just read, and it sets into your hedge. This is weird, because on my birthday this year, I read the book of John, and I mean, it would just like set, and I'm like, what's up with that? It was almost like I had to meditate on it when it was not my birthday, and then it sets in, and it was almost like I read it and it just set, like I understood the whole thing, and I'm like, what? I had to meditate on this before, and this time it was like instant messages from God, this, and I'm like, what? Like, it took me a while to think about that before, and now it's like my birthday and things are just set, and so I'm like, I'm going to read as much as I possibly can, bro. Take advantage of your birthday by giving it to God to read the Bible, and He will bless you in return. So people are like, I want blessings, give me my $50 gift card to Cabela's, and it's like, that's not how things go, okay? Let me ask you for the sports car. I was just joking because I wanted to go rev it out in front of somebody's house that done cursed me. So it's like, we'll get to that, okay? But even if I could just borrow it for a couple hours. But whatever, I'm just playing. What I got was I got spiritual gifts from it. So what was my spiritual gift from it? Everything started setting, and I was getting understanding a lot quicker. This is different than reading it on Christmas. I don't know why. This last Christmas, I read, I think it was Matthew. I actually read a various amount of things on Christmas that were, how do I say this? It was targeted scripture, not a full book. So I read part of Romans, Matthew, Luke, John, Mark, and I had this, and then it dropped into on Christmas, and I had weird effects on that on Christmas too, where I was pretty much kind of alone, but when I had read it, there was like this clarity that I had, where I was like at ultimate peace, and I was like, there's a whole lot about it, about the biblical hedge that I haven't really gotten to because I haven't had it. It took me 3 years of every day to build it, and I had to do it. I was fighting off this curse with codes, bro, before I got the hedge in place. So I was fighting off with codes massively. And what codes, we'll talk about that, but it's basically things that you will gain from spiritual experiences. So when I got cursed with everything. So I had stuff that codes you will have to understand. I'll actually probably do a podcast in season 4 when I'm out camping. It's almost May 1st, and camping's almost here. I still haven't got my tent. I may just kick a mattress in the back and just do it from there the first couple seasons and go out and do it. Or a day trip. I may just take day trips out there. If you sit back and think about this, okay? What did I understand about the birthday hedge the most, okay? Was that things will set easier on you when it comes to understanding the word, so you will gain wisdom quicker. It's almost like because you gave your birthday, people take it as like the most selfish day of their lives in a way. That's really weird. Maybe I'm onto something there. Why? Well, what do people do for their birthday? It's all about me. Birthday cake, candles. I'm out doing this. I'm drinking. I'm having all this. The worst thing I did on my birthday for my body was 2 donuts, well, a donut hole with it, and a latte, and I'm working. Well, I guess working on your birthday is kind of foul, but it is what it is. So, think about it this way. The most selfish days on the calendar, okay? What are the most selfish days on the calendar? Well, Christmas is one of them. Halloween seems to be another one. I read every Halloween, bro. Everybody will done send Halloween, bro. Everybody's hitting me with everything, and it's like I got my hedge up and everything. This is why I will go with people out to trick or treat, but I will just walk around with a hedge. Why? There's kids out there, and people are casting witchcraft at everybody. So if there's kids and people that are in my hedge, chances are they're probably not going to get hit with it. So like my girlfriend's kids, when her kids were younger, I would go out with them. I didn't have a hedge yet, but I would fight whatever was being cast at them or at me. And I mean, it's just like, it's like a circus out there on Halloween, bro. Halloween's weird. Everybody wearing a mask, and they're already wearing a mask underneath it, and you're like, this is weird. Like, it's acting strange, very strange. The only time I dressed up for Halloween, I dressed up like the Joker, because I felt, why? I don't really even know. I made a good job. I was a sexy Joker, bro. I was a sexy Joker, but I don't dress up for Halloween. I'll go out there and I'll protect people when it comes to the spiritual war. So Halloween seems to be the point where they're like, curse the candy, curse everybody, do this, attack, hex everyone. And it's like, whoa. Like, that's, I don't really understand. I didn't really have any effects on my hedge because I had one last Halloween, I think. I think that hedge set in November, not October. So I missed Halloween, but I was pounding on people anyway because they were pounding on me. This whole town, bro. This Halloween, everybody wearing pumpkins on their head. 365 here, bro. This place is messed up. So what I saw was that there was no effects on my hedge on Halloween. I guess it was like 3 million verse 1. I don't really know exactly what happened there, but I kind of walked out of it and was like, okay. Christmas has its own things. So if you read the full story of Jesus from one perspective or multiple perspectives on Christmas, I'm curious to know what that is, because my hedge was so new to me that I didn't understand the effects of certain days on the calendar. Easter. Something I found about Easter before I had my hedge. Everybody went out and did their Easter egg hunts and we're cooking lamb and ham and turkey and this and that. I stayed home. Okay? This may have been last year or the year before last. I can't remember. But when I read that on Easter, the people that were celebrating Easter for the wrong reason, that had cursed me, were going through some sort of weird guilt phase. But the next day it seemed to be gone and they just kept going. So it was like their possession was like, it was like, I don't know, not possession, well, possession, but there was a self-reflective thing on the outside of me that I saw the next day on certain people, where I was like, okay, like, you're acting different. Usually you're on the wand and broom and doing backflips and, riding a beach ball around in a circle on a circus, like, jumping through fire rings and stuff. I don't really understand. But I noticed that there was a self-reflective quality of it for me, too, where I don't like rabbits, bro. Well, I'm a fan of Bugs Bunny, and there's a reason, because that's part of my playbook, bro. People who know me know that if you mess around with Lone Wolf when it comes to curses and hexes and this and that, I will Bugs Bunny you all the way. I will drive you insane with the Bugs Bunny phenomenon, bro. And I have a playbook on how I operate. That there's playbooks from the dark and the light. Multiple playbooks on how people will deal with combat, okay? I will deal with it from the light in a way where you will get hit with anvils, bricks, bro. You will get hit with every single thing. But I'm also walking you down with a hedge. So there's certain things that are over me that I can't even control. Where people cursed me with Looney Tunes episodes. So if you curse me, you're going to get hit with bricks and anvils and dynamite, and I'm not even doing anything. So half the time, I'm not even doing anything. Bugs Bunny just works. That's like my phenomenon through the hedge. Sometimes it's purposeful, where there's codes to it. Generally, I'll just walk you down with the Bible, and I'll kind of fry you a little bit. And that's where things get dangerous. Why? Because I understand hedges. Why? If I read the book of Matthew and you just did all these hexes and spell work in there, what am I going to do? A lot of people are like, rebuke it off, and they do it again. What will I do? Well, I went through that where I was rebuking it off, and they kept going. And then what did I decide to do? John, and I smashed it, bro. And I turned around, and I could identify exactly who did it because they were burnt. They looked cursed, dude. Like, their whole face changed. Their whole face, like, puffed out, and like, they looked like cursed. If you can imagine what a cursed person would look like. Not like the Hills Have Eyes walking around and they're like that. It's not that bad. But I'm sure you could akin that to being cursed pretty heavily. It wasn't like you just walked into a nuclear facility, swam in their swimming pool and left. It was like their eyes were like different. Their face, like their jaw was like almost like this weird underbite thing. Like, I'm not playing with you. Some people would be like, you playing with me. Bruh, in the afterlife, okay, when we're all passed away and all this, whoever sees this video, maybe nobody sees this video, I don't know, that maybe I'll get the chance through God to walk you through my experience here and show you what happened. Because there's people that were at the coffee stands that hit me with love curses and spells, okay? And I found a way to accurately deal with those so that people didn't get wham and ooh. And that's like the worst, it was like the worst thing I saw, okay? What I saw was working with the Hedge of Timothy is a very powerful, just like it'll do something to their heart, not physically, where like, I gotta go in, I need a coronary bypass graft. It ain't like that. It's like they had some sort of thing that made them, it was almost like it reversed the love spell, where they were all like, oh, I really want to get to know you, but I wasn't interested, but also they were ashamed of themselves. So there was a judgment where they had to self-reflect, and in order for them, if you cast a love spell at somebody reads the book of Timothy and sends it back to you, and they get rid of it, your best bet is to read the book of Timothy. Why? Because you can remedy what you did a little bit, but you learn something from it. So it's a very soft way to push it back to you so that the person who sent it can read the book of Timothy and understand it and go, I need to never do that again. That wasn't cool. Okay? What I did the first time, well, and I didn't mean to do this. Everybody cast love spells and curses at me here, and I went and lifted like 30 freaking curses that were casted over me, but also around me. So it was almost like somebody hit me with a love spell, but I didn't have the time to go home and read the book of Timothy. I wrote out how I felt in the moment about the person, and then I was out lifting curses because I didn't have time to sit there and read the whole book of Timothy, because God's got me on a mission. That's why you don't do spell work on people too. You don't know if the person you're doing witchcraft on, or spell work, or black magic, voodoo, or whatever you're doing, you don't know what mission God has them on. And it's pretty obvious. This is the thing that I noticed, is that these people are blind here. People couldn't understand that I was from the light, but people also couldn't understand that I had a hedge. So there's people who still do it here, where they do it, and I'm like, book of Timothy, but generally I'll write it out, and I get what my spiritual way of dealing with it before I understood the book of Timothy was that you need to write out how you feel, rebuke it, and, well, returning it isn't really something that I was interested in. It was more of rebuking it and understanding it and seeing it, and it would go away. So there's multiple ways you can deal with love spells, okay? When it's your birthday, nobody can really hit you with anything if you have a hedge. If you don't, people can hit you with things, okay? People cast it. I'm convinced that the day I was born that Moldy done cursed me, bro. That my surrogate dad had done cursed me. Everybody done cursed me on the day I was born. My whole life, I've gone through birthday stuff where I'm like, what's up with this? 37 years old. It's gone. Well, it could be my girl gets mad at me, but it don't ruin it for me. I'll just let it go before it would impact me. So it was almost like they cursed me so it could hit me. So maybe everybody's birthday is cursed by somebody. I don't know. But I see people that are like, every year I have a bad birthday. Maybe you should read the Bible on your birthday. Give it to God for 1 year, man. For 1 year. Well, give it to him every year. You got an hour out of your morning or your night where you can read the Bible. It isn't all about you. Well, it's my birthday. Well, it's also 50 million other people's birthdays on the same day. Give it to God. Why not? Give it to God. Well, I mean, I done had some donuts, so I obviously gave it to myself a little bit too. But I started my birthday out at midnight. Well, before midnight and after midnight, reading the book of John. Well, I got a hedge, so I've been building it for 3 years. It took me 3 years. Some people it takes longer than that. Depends on how much you read. What's the quickest you can get a hedge? That's an interesting thing. Well, maybe you can get a hedge quicker than that if you dedicate it every day in isolation and you did nothing else, which is extremely hard, especially for somebody that's coming from a reprobated state into the light. That is very hard because, well, life is pulling at you in different ways, but your mind will automatically set it down. I'm going to go play video games for a while. So you're not as focused on the fruits of the Spirit because you don't understand. You're not that deep into the light that you're out here and you're kind of so you're starting to get it, and hedge where you're in. And that's not meaning, okay, like, it's not the same thing as being saved. There's a difference between, well, I did the work here. So building a hedge is you did the work. You applied it here. Your lamp is full, bro. So you'll notice that if you can eat abundantly from the Word, which means you didn't curse anybody and you're going through Revelation, and went and took the mark of the beast and you're going through this mark, or you're marked with the curse of Cain, or you're Saul, whatever it may be. If you can eat from the Word, okay, and cursing the Holy Spirit will do that to you too. And that's in the Bible, that you don't do that because it's an unforgivable act, okay? You will, if you do something against God's commandments and against, there's certain set things that you don't do, okay? Or you won't be able to eat as abundantly. What does that mean, okay? That means that your capacity to understand the wisdom is slower, and it's, think about how I said my hedge set in place. If I can't eat abundantly, it's going to take me a long time to build a hedge. A long time. I haven't cursed anybody. I don't do witchcraft. I don't do anything. So my hedge, 3 years, which the average time I saw was 3 to 5 years, okay? 3 to 5 years average to build a hedge. Mine took 3 years. I was on it every day. I was in combat, fighting everybody and their mom, their kids, their uncle, their pet frogs, hamsters, and dogs. Everybody doing witchcraft here, so it was insane. I fought off everybody. Multiple covens, bro. Multiple covens. And they kept going, but now they look like they curse, bro. There's people here that their eyes are bulged out, and I think it's like the first time it's happened here where, like, nobody does the work here, because I read the book of Ruth, like, probably 50 times here, and I was like, hello, and there was no female out here with a hedge, where I was like, okay, like, I guess that this is kind of not even just a hedge, but they really didn't have no lamp full. Everybody was just like no lamp and spinning around out in the dark, asking questions and shaking their fists. So I was like, well, this ain't gonna work. But the birthday thing, okay? The birthday thing is very interesting. Build a hedge, and if you don't have a hedge, read the book of Matthew. You give it to Jesus on your birthday for at least 2-3 hours, an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, however much you see fit. And maybe your birthday goes a little bit better, because there's something about that where there's a checkmate on the birthday. This isn't biblical. I'm going to use an example. I slept all afternoon, well, into the evening, okay? So I woke up. And my girl was kind of grumpy, I could tell, and I was like, I'm sliding out of bed, getting my shoes on, pants, I'm Audi 5000 trying to get here and get me donuts, okay? Generally, what would she have done? She would have got mad at me, bro. She would have got mad. She didn't say one thing to me. There's a checkmate with the birthday thing that's non-biblical, where it's almost like people would get mad at you on an ordinary day for being a little bit selfish or doing something that they don't necessarily want you to do out of their own will to control. It's a human thing. But your birthday, bro, you've got leeway. And I realized this today where I was like, oh, wait a second. It's hard for people to get mad at me on my birthday because it's my birthday. so I can give it to God and get spiritual blessings, but I can leave at 2, 3 in the morning and go get a donut, and she don't get mad. Like, wait a second. That ain't so bad. So there's non-biblical things with it that are human-driven, human behavior-wise, which was a blessing for me too. I went and got my blueberry donuts. I'm about to work again, bro. It's busy out here. I'm about to make some more money. Now, well, if you're crazy, it's 2:45 in the morning. Well, what else am I going to do on my birthday? I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm trying to get everything I need so I can go. I got stuff to do. So that's it for that. I'm probably going to throw a couple more interlude videos, but this is in between 3 and 4 until I get out this mess. All right? Lone Wolf, peace.